Okay, chapter 3 is one of my favorite because this really gets into the role of a trainer. These are really the things that you need to be concerned about. All the stuff we already talked about is important, but that's kind of the fundamentals. That's the logistics side. This is more the vision of what I want you to be at camp. And I know some of you already wondered, what is a trainer? What am I supposed to be? Well, here's some things you can think about. Starting on page 15, you be you. Romans 12:9. That's what you're supposed to be. Be you. Kids can smell a fake a long way away. So don't get caught up in trying to impress people. Be yourself. You know, God has made you the way you are. Don't try to be me. Don't try to be Mitchell. Be yourself. Romans 12:9 reminds us to let our love be genuine, to let it be real. So it starts within us. So maybe you're not having a great 2019. One of the things you can do right now is begin praying and saying, God, man, let me be the best me that I can be for this camp. Help me to get myself in order in these next 7 days. Get your own heart lined up. Because I'm telling you, if you go into this role without having your vertical right, your horizontal, which is our relationships with people, will not be right either. So get your vertical right. If you're not spending time with God on a day-to-day basis right now, start it today. Go to the FC app, start having those devotionals, start spending time with God right now. Don't let another day go past, because I'm telling you, for you to be you, you got to understand how God has made you and be comfortable with that and trust that he has made you for a reason. Number 2, enjoy your role. Have fun, man. Rejoice in the Lord. I love how many times in the Bible it talks about rejoicing. And rejoicing is a choice, the choice to rejoice. It's not just a feeling. So really, we have to go into these roles as leading these kids excited to do it, because God's going to use you in an incredible, incredible way. A good sense of humor will help you in a lot of situations. Kids are intense. They have a lot of stress in their life. Sometimes they're looking for reasons to be scared or to be nervous or uncomfortable. You can break the ice by simply laughing at yourself, not making fun of others, obviously, but allowing yourself not to take yourself too seriously. Enjoy the moments, laugh together. Even if stuff is not necessarily funny to you. For example, junior high boy humor is incredibly annoying. And if it's not at the risk, not at the sake of somebody else or at the expense of somebody else, laugh. You know, let a laugh with your kids. I'm telling you, it'll help you enjoy your role better. Walk it out. Number 3, man, you have got to lead by example this week. I don't care what's going on back home. I know you've got stress. I know you got drama back at the house. Don't bring it to camp with you. And don't get caught on your phone, texting, making business emails and business texts and business phone calls. If you and your boyfriend or girlfriend are having drama back at home, man, just for 3 days, take a break. I'm telling you, it can't be a bad thing. So you've got to live it out. You've got to be the example of how to have a great time at camp. Remember, these kids are so insecure. You and I don't even remember how crazy insecure those years are. Be an example of strength, of self-awareness, recognizing who God has made you to be, being happy with that, and just being joyful. Live it out. Let them see you doing it. And then fourthly, be flexible. Flexibility is huge. We have a plan for camp. Weather changes, camp a lot. There's just things that happen. And you've got to be flexible. Don't get married to any structure or plan. Your role is to be a leader with those kids, and then let everything else kind of lead you. So you follow the changing plans if they're there. Be flexible. Defining your role. You are an environment creator. You set the tone. You are a student leader. So you are a thermostat, not a thermometer. You are a leader, not a follower. So when it comes down to what I don't want you to do, I don't want you to get in the mistaken identity that you're a student's parent. You're not responsible for those kids' actions and heart and their future. You're not responsible for that. Don't put that weight on yourself. You're not a parent. It's tempting to take this role because some of them need a parent, but you can't be that. That's a dangerous position to put yourself in. It's not good for the kid. It's not good for you. So don't take that identity as a parent per se. There are definitely parenting metaphors, and there's definitely some things about this role that look like a parent, but you're not a parent. So when it comes to deep, intimate conversations, be very careful about the advice that you give, or if you don't have advice, don't give it. Just pray for them. That's a phrase I want you to say with me right now. Can I pray with you? Someone shares something with you that you don't have an answer to. Man, what do? Do you try to make up advice on the spot? No. If they ask you questions about the Bible you don't understand, no, don't try to make stuff up. Just say, man, that's a great question. Can I pray for you about that? and then just pray, and then make a note. Let me go talk to Pastor Chris or Pastor Mitchell or somebody else about that question. Now, if we're talking about something that is, that's life-threatening, if we're talking about abuse, anything like that, then we've got to know immediately. And you've got to communicate that to those students and listen, what you're telling me is incredibly powerful, and you need help. And I'm going to get that help for you. I still want to pray with you for sure, but I will not keep a secret with something that could affect your future and your life that's that serious. So anytime a student shares anything with you on that level, we've got to know immediately. That's an urgent issue. Do not make a note, hey, I'll talk to them tomorrow about that. You find us right then. You do whatever it takes. Take care of your kids, keep your group together, but pull one of us aside and let us know what's going on. But you are not their parent. Do not carry that weight. You're not a student's friend. You're going to be friendly, for sure. But if you go in with the expectation of being friends with these kids, you're going to be sorely disappointed. You're their leader. So there's a time to be friendly, and there's a time to draw the line. There's a time to say, guys, it's time to go to sleep. We're going to turn the lights out. We're going to be grown-ups, and we're going to go to sleep. Nobody gets up again. If you get up again, it's going to cost you time at free time tomorrow. Friends can't say that. Leaders can't. So be a leader from the beginning. And lastly, you don't want to be there, in light of that, you don't want to be the student's police either. You don't want to start getting nitpicky and griping at them over every little mistake. I found a sock under the bed. You guys lost an hour of free time. I mean, you don't want to do that kind of stuff. You want to let them be students, and a lot of our kids will be middle school age students. They're going to be a little irresponsible at times. They're going to forget stuff. They're going to lose things. They're going to be smelly, all that stuff. You don't want to turn into the mixed beach camp police squad. So make sure that you find that good balance, and you give grace, but you also are the leader, and you got to be clear about that. There's some great resources in this chapter. We're not going to go through every one of them. A lot of them are kind of restating some of the same basic things. But I do want to jump to page 19 and talk about tips for having the best week possible. Enforce the rules. Start from the beginning. Number one, upon arrival, the first thing you'll do is inspect all students' luggage for prohibited items. No cell phones. None. No cell phones. If anything is found, you'll keep them, bring them to us, we'll store them for you. So right out of the gate, you're telling them, look, I'm not your buddy. Right out of the gate, I'm your leader. Open your bag. I'm going to inspect your bag. Remember, friends don't do that. Leaders do that. Number two, begin the week firm. If you let things get out of control early, like being late, not going to bed on time, not keeping the cabin clean, those things will set you up for failure throughout the week. Remember what I said earlier, it's easier to start firm and loosen up later. Do not start loose. Start as the leader. Never, ever, ever, though, in any moment of frustration, irritation, anything like that, use physical contact to move a student. Don't grab their arms, say, come over here. Don't push them back. Don't wrestle, even if you're playing around. Don't get into all that. Physical contact needs to be off limits. You've got to draw really clear lines. Oh, but I love wrestling with my kids or with my nieces and nephews. That's great. These are not your kids. These are not your family. These are really essentially total strangers for the most part. You would never wrestle with a total stranger at the mall. You wouldn't do that, so don't do that on this trip. Make sure you do not use any kind of corporal punishment for changing behavior. The best thing to do is take away activity time. Make them sit next to you on the beach while their friends are playing. That's your best punishment most of the way. So don't do push-ups, wall squats, none of that stuff. Make sure you separate the behavior from the person. Stay away from you're a liar, you're mean, you're stupid. Obviously, you never say those things. Meaning, you never logically say those things. But you'd be amazed what will come out if you're tired and you're not on purpose. Make sure and separate the behavior. The room is not clean. Your bag is not packed. Those are facts. You can state the facts. Don't say you're messy. You're a slob. You understand? Almost done. Catch students being good. I think this is huge. From the beginning, from the jump, try to catch them being good. Look for the right things to support and encourage. Don't just look for the bad things to correct. Try to encourage them when they do the right things. And I love the way you included your friends in that. I love the way you stayed with the group today, guys. Great job. I love the way you showed spirit in the team competitions. I love the way you were a good sport. I love the way you guys separated on the beach during silent sounds without me having to tell you again. Great job. Make sure you do all those things. And don't ignore any inappropriate behavior within a student or within a volunteer. Those things are crucial. If there's anything that you see that makes you uncomfortable as an adult with it, with a student to student, confront it. Let one of us know. We'll help you do that. If you see anything that's weird or makes you uncomfortable with another adult and the students, don't hesitate, even if you're wrong. Even if there's a good explanation about why they did what they did. Maybe you totally misinterpreted a situation. I would rather you come to me and say, look, I think we need to investigate this. I don't like the way this was going down. I think you need to know more about it. Pastor Chris, can you help us with this? Let me know. I would rather investigate claims that aren't valid than to watch something that was a flag, a red flag, and we didn't deal with it. So if you see anything inappropriate, I want you watching other adults. We trust, but we verify. We trust, but we inspect. So we want to make sure that everybody is being watched at all times. And that's something we're going to talk about again in our meetings, but it is crucial that you stay above the line. You do not get close to anything that could be construed as inappropriate. That's for the child's protection first and foremost, but it's also for yours. I've seen stories over the years at other camps and other places, people with good intentions, crossed the line thinking they were building a bond. Maybe they touched a shoulder, maybe they hugged a student too long. All that kind of stuff can get misconstrued and really come back to bite you and be inappropriate for those students. So that's why we emphasize that we minister to genders. We stay gender appropriate at all times. Guys deal with guys, ladies deal with ladies. No crossing those lines. So make sure we have those huge inspection goggles on at all times. We're always looking around to see what's happening. I'll be inspecting you. I'll be following you around. I'll be asking your kids how you're doing. Don't be nervous about that. Just do a good job. You got nothing to be worried about. But we definitely do inspect, and I want you guys to let us know if you see anything that's uncomfortable. So that's a basic idea of what a volunteer is supposed to be. The next section, the final one, is going to be how to share your faith. That's going to be a great one. I'll see you in a minute.